most wonderful texts of Sanatana Dharma, the Prasthanatraya, are the highest philosophies that have been received by the yogis in their dhyana. Most of it is not something that they saw with the physical eye or heard with the physical ears. Most of it is something that they received as a divine revelation. That is why it is called sputa. Sputa means that which reveals itself all of a sudden. So all these yogis could do was to prepare themselves to receive that ability to grasp, to understand, to experience what the divine had to reveal. Rishis are called mantra drishtas. It is said they have seen the mantra. For example, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. If you read the Ganapati Atharvashirsham, there the mention comes that Ganaka Rishi received this in his whichever state of highest communion, and then he described how Ganapati looks like. And he describes Ganapati both at Nirakara Brahma and Saguna Sakara Brahman. Starts with Nirakara, from Brahmasi, and then he goes to Saguna Sakara Brahman also of Ganapati. Ekadantam Chaturbhajam Pashamankushadharinam Radam Charvardam Hastair Bibranam Bhushakadvajam. That comes in the second half, the description of the deity, Ganapati. But in the first half of the mantras which are received by that Rishi, he describes Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi, Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami, Ritam Vadishyami, Satyam Vadishyami. I speak of you as the very Parabrahman, and this is the truth, scriptural as well as my experiential truth. Ritam, that which has been stated in the scriptures, and Satyam, that which has been experienced by me. In both ways, I confirm that you are that Parabrahman, though you are in the form, the akar of a Ganapati with elephant head, 4 hands and all that. So these rishis had a special ability to perceive things beyond the senses, call it extrasensory perception. And they had a way to communicate with the divine, the Nirakara Brahman. And we all know there were 4 kinds of communications. In the olden times, in their highest state of communion, para, it was called. Beyond all the senses. Para itself means the higher or the beyond. So it was not received by using any senses, intellect, or any other sense faculty, not even by the act of meditation. It was just a spontaneous revelation to the rishis, mantra drishta or sputa. Then pashyanti, where they could see it as visions. They saw Ganapati as, or whichever deity, in a certain form, Ashtabhujas or Chaturbhujas or whatever form. And whatever they saw, they kind of spoke about it in richas, in poetry, or even in prose. And this went on for a long time till it was revealed to other people through Guru Shishya Parampara, and then it got scripted, Veda Vyasa, who compiled all such mantras into Vedas and things like that. And then came Madhyama. Madhyama means through the thought they could transfer this to another person, more like telepathy. So I'm thinking something, I want you also to think the same things. As you sit in front of the Guru, like Dakshinamurti they say. He imparts knowledge through silence, not by speaking. He will sit under the tree, and very strange, that is what Shankaracharya says. Guru is young, Shishyas are old. This is what is going on under a Vatavriksha, Taror Mule. So, and how does he teach? By silence. How can somebody learn by silence? It's not actually silence. Their minds get connected or merged with each other. Kathopanishad says, no? Yached vang manasi pragnya tadyached jnanatmani. Jnanatmani mahatini yached tadyached shantatmani. So it's the mind that gets connected with the Guru, and then you are able to transfer the knowledge from Guru to Shishya. Even I talk about Bhagavad Gita being something like this. Veda Vyasa is somewhere, Ganapati is somewhere. Whatever Veda Vyasa is thinking, Ganapati is able to understand and then write. Last time we know, Veda Vyasa put the condition, you have to write only after you understand whatever I said. Ganapati is very sharp. So Veda Vyasa is thinking, if he keeps writing, I may run out of content. So I have to tell faster. Ganapati put the condition that I will never stop writing. You should keep speaking. If you stop speaking, then this is the deal is over. So Veda Vyasa put the reverse condition that, okay, you write, but you should only understand and write. So that is how, but they were talking in their minds, you see. Some kind of a, I would say, madhyama kind of a communication. And then the final one, the lowest, and which is what we use, called Vaikari. Vaikari means I speak in the mic and you hear through the system, and then or we speak to each other or write to each other. That is Vaikari Vani. The thing is that over a period of time, the quality of communication, it deteriorated because our minds deteriorated. Para, mind was not there, it was divine only. Pashyanti, mind was there, it saw the things beyond the senses. Madhyama, it was mind only which was being used. And Vaikari, both body, mind, hands, legs, everything is being used, especially in classrooms. So, what happened in this Vishwaroopa Darshana Yoga is what I am trying to come to. Everybody has an imagination of Vishwaroopa Darshana Yoga. In the middle of the battlefield, Kauravas and Pandavas are there, and there is this chariot of Krishna, Arjuna. And here is Arjuna complaining to Krishna or wanting to run away from the battlefield, giving all kinds of excuses. And here is Krishna trying to convince Arjuna about his duty, his dharma as Kshatriya, and also how to do this dharma, so that he is not caught by the karma phala and gets into this cycle of birth and death, how to do it in the right way. That is what Bhagavad Gita is all about, doing your duty in the right way. And conversation is going on, Arjuna is engaged in the conversation, he's asking questions and answers, just like all Upanishads do. So Bhagavad Gita being an Upanishad, Upanishad. Upa means near, Ni means Nischaya, and Shat means, there are three meanings to Shat, Shat Dhatu. One is Gati, Himsa and Avasadhana, we all know about it. What is Gati? Gati is a movement or a progress or destiny. So Bhagavad Gita is progressing, we can clearly see from Arjuna Vishada Yoga, it has gone to Sankhya Yoga, to Karma Yoga, to Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, and it's going on. Finally it has come to Vibhuti Yoga, where Krishna has revealed his presence in everything. Think of me in all as the best amongst the things, men, and everything that you see. I am that. Think of divinity as that supreme perfection in everything that we do. So it has come this far. Arjuna is very pleased. So Upa has happened. Why? Because they are in the same chariot from Upanishad point of view. Ni also is happening. Why? Because Arjuna is understanding things and asking the right questions. When do you know that the student is sincere and is grasping the subject? When he asks the right question. So Arjuna is asking all the right questions so far. Krishna is happy as a teacher. Is Shat happening? In the Gati, movement is happening. That is, we have seen the movement is happening. Then is Himsa happening? Himsa in the sense destruction. Destruction of what? Destruction of Arjuna's fear, anxieties, attachments, doubts. Is it happening or not? That is the next question, because only then Gita can be Upanishad. So, avasadhana or loosening of the bondage, is it happening? What bondage? Bondage of ignorance, bondage of attachments, whatever. So this is what we have to study as the Gita progresses. Whether Arjuna is able to appreciate it from the Upanishad point of view. So Shat, Gati, Himsa, Avasadhana. So last time Krishna has overwhelmed Arjuna with his glory, Vibhuti Yoga. And why did he do that? Because Arjuna himself asked, I have heard about you, you told me about this great secret that you alone are everything and everything is in you. Yet you are not in anything, nothing is in you. This is the secret you have told. I want to know how all I should worship you, keshu keshu cha bhaveshu, in which all ways can I think of you, because in the temple I can think of you as the idol. But when I am working in my workaday life, how do I think of you then? When I am going for a walk, how do I think of you? When I am busy with some other activity, reading, teaching, eating, sleeping, how do I think of you? So Krishna gives him all kinds of examples. In everything you can see me. After this, Krishna revealing everything, he finally says that all this I am telling you, it is very, very small portion of my true glory. It's not even the entire glory. I am telling you in short, in brief. And he goes on to say, I am doing so because it cannot be described. It is infinite. Therefore, I am telling you only in short form. And this also is only a spark, only a parcel, part and parcel, a small part of my glory. With that, I sustain the entire universe. My entire glory you can never understand. Now, what did Krishna do? He created curiosity in Arjuna. My small glory only is like that. Imagine what my big glory would be like. Now, Arjuna's, curiosity, kutuhala, has been kindled. Now, he wants to know, tell me about the real big glory that you have. You say you permeate everything, you pervade everything, everything is you. There is no place, nothing that exists without you. How is that existence like? How do I experience it? Is what Arjuna's next question is. You describe to me how good that ice cream is, or gulab jamun is, or samosa is. But you are not allow me to taste it. That is unfair. So Arjuna now slowly is inching towards the idea that all this is nice to hear, but I want to experience something of it. Somebody told me, Swami, you talk about Brahmagyana. At least give me a little taste of it so that I develop interest in Brahmagyana. Because I don't know how it feels like when you are a Brahmagyani. I only know it as theory. You will be at peace, you will not fight with anybody, everybody will be at peace around you. Things like that. But I have never experienced such a state. At least give me a glimpse of that so that I will get excited, I will get interested, I will get, as I said, motivated to pursue that. That is how children ask when I tell them about it. I tell them, yes, you will get it. When you deserve it, you will get it, but you keep putting efforts nevertheless. Don't stop putting efforts. So here is Arjuna who has heard such glory of Krishna in Vibhuti Yoga. Now he wants to really experience some bit of that glory, at least a glimpse of it, a sneak peek into Krishna's tremendous glory. And next chapter comes in here, very aptly named by Vedavyasa as Vishwaroopa Darshana. Most of the people, when you see Vishwaroopa Darshana, what comes to your mind? That artist's impression of a huge Krishna with a big mouth open and so many fires are coming out. There are so many other heads, all kinds of devas, gandharvas, rishis, ganas, Brahma, Vishnu. Everybody is in that form, and there are universes coming out, going in. There are people, whom he is swallowing, and all these things is what we know. This Vishwaroopa Darshana is how it has been painted by the artists. But is that the real Vishwaroopa Darshana that this chapter is talking about is something we must ask. Saguna Bhaktas will be very happy with that artist's impression of Vishwaroopa Darshana because they want to glorify their Krishna. My Krishna only is that great supreme Godhead and he is capable of all these things. Whereas truly if you define Vishwaroopa Darshana, Vishwa means cosmos, the entire universe. Rupa, the form of it, and Darshana, seeing it. So the real meaning is the yoga, the ability by which I can see the divinity in everything that surrounds me, inside, outside. Antar Bahishta Tat Sarvam. How will I be able to see you or divine? Even the most difficult situations of my life, I should see you. I should experience you, your presence. In everything, good, bad, and not so good, I should experience you. In people who are favorable to me and not so favorable and pleasant, I should experience you. In failures and successes, I must see your presence. In everything, how do I experience you? That is Vishwaroopa Darshan. It's not about one fine day you suddenly get a power to see things beyond your perceptions, sensory perceptions. And you see a huge God appearing in the sky with all hands, heads and all that. That is not the Vishwaroopa Darshan that we as people who understand the idea of Advaita should crave for. We should crave for that ability to see that oneness in this creation, to see God as this divine principle in everything that exists. That is the idea of Vishwaroopa Darshana. Nevertheless, the chapter has its own merit, why it has been written like this, what is that Arjuna is experiencing, what is the significance of it. So we will dwell into it, but with this understanding that ultimate idea of Vishwaroopa Darshana is to be able to feel that divinity in everything, everyone. However difficult, easy things might be. We must experience that hand of divinity. That is what Pratibodha Viditam Matam Amrutatvam Hivindat. The one who experiences the divinity in everything in life. Pratibodha, in every experience he sees only divine. Amrutatvam Hivindat. He experienced the immortality itself. Because such a person is never afraid. He sees divine in all. Even in death he will see divinity. So that is the idea. So we will enter this chapter of Vishwaroopa Darshana Yoga. What does Arjuna say? Arjuna Uvacha, Mad Anugrahaya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam Yatva Yoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. He says, see, O Krishna, by hearing all these things that you have spoken to me just now, about what? Guhyam, Paramam Guhyam, ultimate secret about you, not ordinary secrets, ultimate secret about you. You have talked to me about it right now, Sangitam, about that state you have spoken to me. Yatva yoktam vachastena mohoyam vigato mama. Having heard you speak about this glory of yours, what has happened to me? What is my response to it? My moha. Vigato, it has gone. My moha is gone. The moha delusion that I am going to kill these people and they are my kith and kin and how do I kill them? All these that he was suffering from. Remember in the first chapter, he says, I don't want to, na yotsya iti. He didn't want to fight. I told, I don't want to fight. Leave me alone, let's go back. And Gandiva is falling, I'm getting fever and all that. But Krishna says, nothing doing. This is not right. Then he finally says, please tell me what is right. Dharma sammuda cheta. I have become confused about my duty. I do not know what is right, what is wrong. So he says, Karpanya dosha has overtaken me, cowardice. I can't think right from wrong. So please tell me, Shishyasteham Shadivam Tvam Prapannam. I am beseeching you, I am coming to you, I am surrendering to you as a Shishya, as a disciple. Only when he says that, then Krishna starts explaining to him the truths. So Arjuna has heard the truths of Bhagavad Gita so far and is so overwhelmed. And what is his response to Krishna? Krishna, by listening to these wonderful things that you have spoken, the ultimate secret of your divinity, my moha is vigato, is gone. But what is gone can come back again. Vigata means agata also can happen. What happens to us in the classroom? Sir, I heard your lecture, all my doubts have disappeared. only till next morning. Next morning, all the doubts are back with their cousins. So while Arjuna is saying here, all my moha is gone, but he says, Vigato mama, it's only gone. However, in the last chapter, he will say, Nashto moha spritalabdha. My moha is destroyed. Destruction is the right method. That is why I'm asking whether Upanishad is being fulfilled here. Shat is that himsa, the destruction of moha has happened or not? Not yet. But avasadhana has happened. Little loosening of his delusion or the bondage has happened. Gati has happened. Some progress has happened on the spiritual path for Arjuna. But Nashto moha is not happened. Vigato moha alone has happened so far. So Arjuna says it like this, that because of your grace, you taught to me all these things. My illusion seems to have gone now. But he also goes to say that eva me tadyathatha tvamatmanam parameshwara drishtumichhami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. I've heard that you are the beginning, you are the end, all these things. Now here and now, I want to experience something. What is that? He says, drishtumichhami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. The glorious form of yours that you talk about, that I am in everything, everything is in me. How does it look like? What does it feel like? What that experience should be like? I am very desirous of that vision, he asks Krishna. When Krishna says, and also is so humble. See, Arjuna is humble. That is one qualification of Arjuna. Though he came, Senayor Bhyor Madhya Ratam Stapayame Achyuta, he commanded Krishna, put my chariot in between us, because he thought he is the great warrior and Krishna is only a charioteer. But after listening to Krishna, he has humbled himself and now humbly he prays to Krishna, Manyase yadi tachakyam maya drishtumiti prabho. If you think I am deserving of such a grace, of having a vision like this, which I am asking for, Yogeshwara tato metvam darshayatmanam avyayam. Then, O Yogeshwara, you are the doer of magic, Yogeshwara, you are all powerful. Maya is in your control. If you think I am deserving of such amazing grace that I am asking for, would you not be so kind to give me that darshan of that indestructible form of yours, that amazing ultimate form of yours? Humbly he is putting it to Krishna because he knows he doesn't deserve. He doesn't qualify with all his shortcomings. He doesn't qualify to be that. In fact, he doesn't qualify for anything. But why Krishna says, your only qualification is that you are very dear to me. You are my friend. You are my own. And now you are a Shishya also. So Krishna tells earlier also, I do it because I love you. I have special love for you. So I am making exceptions for you. So he is trying to stretch it a little more. Anyway, you have made enough exceptions because I am very dear to you. I know I don't deserve all these things. But will you please be kind enough to give me a little more than what you have given? And I want to see your ultimate form, how you really exist as the entire universe. Arjuna humbly prays to Krishna, if you think I deserve such a grace, please grant me this grace, grant me the vision and experience. How sweet. And what does Krishna say? Nothing doing, enough is enough. Go back and fight the war now. No, he doesn't say like that. He says, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Paschame Partha Rupani Shatashota Sahasrashaha Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varna Kritani Cha. He says, okay Arjuna, here, see. What? He says, see my form, this form. How is the form? It is in multiple ways, in varied ways. How many varied ways? Hundreds of thousands of ways you see me now. Nana Vidhani, in different kinds of mind. Divyani, but all that is divine only, because you're going to see some very horrific visions also. But he says, all that is divine only. Get that right. Nana Varna Kritani, of various forms, shapes, various colors and tones. See me now. He tells Arjuna. Arjuna is looking around, where do I see you? Then he says, wait, you can't see it with your physical eyes. You have to have a special vision for this. And he tells Arjuna, Natu mam shakyase drushtum anenaiva swachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshuha pashyame yogam aishwaram. You can't see me in this way with your physical eyes. Because it is not the physical eyes with which you see these visions. There is a mental eye, jnana chakshu, divya chakshu. So Krishna realizes suddenly that, oh, I told Arjuna, see, look at me in these varied forms. Means because all the time Krishna is like that with his glory. We don't have the vision to see Krishna in his glory, so we think he's just the man standing there. But for him, he's all the time living in that glory. But then he realizes, oh, Arjuna is unable to see, even though I'm telling him see, but he's seeing nothing. So he says, okay, dadami divyam chakshu. I'll give you a divine vision, divya chakshu. What is this divine vision? 4 kinds of vision are there in divine vision. This has actually 4 kinds. One is a jnana drishti. You don't see things physically as it is. You see the inner significance of things. That is jnana drishti. In divya drishti, what all drishtis you get? One jnana drishti, you don't see things as it is. You see the deeper inner significance of it. To Atindriya Drishti, you have extrasensory perceptions. You can hear things which you generally can't hear with your ears or eye. You see things which you can't see with your eyes. This is beyond senses, Atindriya Drishti you get. Then you get Paralaukika Drishti. You see things beyond this physical world. In this physical world also you can hear and see things which exist but not available to the faculty right now. Like we have wavelengths or we have frequencies of light. We can't see all of it. We are restricted. Other animals can see or hear frequencies. But even if this world, you can see extra things. And of other worlds also you can perceive using this drishti. So sometimes we say that Devi came, that God came. They are not coming in from physical world, Bhuloka. They are coming from Bhuvaloka or Suvaloka or even Satyaloka, whichever loka. We have 14 lokas, no? Bhuva, Suva, Mahajana, Tapa, Satyam, Yatal, Vitala, Sutala, Tatal, Mahatala, Talatala, Patal, like that. So we have 14 lokas. So these are dimensions in which these energies exist. So this Paralaukika Drishti comes to you because of this thing, and Trikala Drishti also comes to you. You can see the past and the future and the present. So 4 kinds of things happen when you get Divya Drishti, and you will understand as the shlokas progress. 1, Jnana Drishti. You don't see things as they are. You see the deeper significance in it. 2nd, you see or hear or whatever things beyond your indriyas also. Extrasensory perception you get. Then you see things beyond this loka, beyond the physical material world also you can perceive things from other dimensions. And 4th is Trikala Drishti. You can see things of the past and the future. So that is the idea. So this is kind of drishtis that you get when you get a Divya Chakshu. Quite interesting, but let me tell you only in the beginning. After that it becomes overwhelming. In Kathopanishad, the mention comes of those yogis who have that Sukshma Drishti. I just wanted to relate to it. It says, Esha sarveshu bhuteshu gudho atma na prakashate drishyate tvagrayaya buddhya sukshmaya sukshma darshibihi, he says. Those who have Sukshma Drishti, they alone see that Atman also in all. That is the divine vision. So Kathopanishad, our Yama tells Nachiketa, only some people with great focus and concentration and one-pointed attention, buddhi, agraya buddhi, they are able to perceive things beyond this world. And they can even perceive the presence of Atma, which is otherwise very hidden, cannot be found. So this is that buddhi and this is that drishti that Krishna is being gracious, being nice to Arjuna to give it away like this. I'm skipping, I'm not doing all the shlokas, but what is that drishti like? Sanjaya is also watching this. Sanjaya is super lucky. He's sitting there with Dhritarashtra, but because Dhritarashtra asked for a boon, that I should know what is going on, so Sanjaya got this extra vision. So now he is also doing. He says, Aneka Vaktram Nayanam Anekam Anekadbhuta Darshanam. There are many mouths that Krishna has, many faces Krishna has, many eyes Krishna has. It's an amazing darshan of Krishna. Aneka Divya Bharanam, Divya Aneko Udya Tayudham. He says there is lot of jewelry and Abhushanam and Krishna, all divine jewelry. Also there are many weapons that he is holding in many hands. And how all are lifted weapons. That is how Krishna is standing. Divya Malyam Baram Dharam. All kinds of beautiful garlands and clothing Krishna is wearing, very divine. Divya Gandhanulepanam, very fragrant gandha, his body is smeared with. He is looking majestic. Sarvascharyamayam, he says, very wonderful that whole thing is. Everybody is mesmerized by that vision, those who are able to watch. Devam Anantam Vishwatomukam, he is the infinite God, divinity. Vishwatomukam, he sees in all directions. Compare this with Purusha Suktam. Sahasra Shirasha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat. Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva Atyatishta Dashangulam. The entire world, cosmos is contained in him, and he even extends or exceeds that by Dashangulam, 10 fingers. Is the imagery of the Purusha Suktam. Thousands of heads, eyes, hands. So you may think, oh, this is what Arjuna is seeing. Suddenly Krishna grows in size, become voluminous from earth to sky he covers, and suddenly so many hands appear with so many weapons and so many faces, so many eyes. One way of looking it as is Dvaita Bhava is this, but Advaita Bhava you see, maybe Arjuna is seeing weapons, so many weapons in the battlefield, so many people standing with weapons up in their hands. He sees all of them as Krishna. Maybe all the people who are wearing all the ornaments, kiritas and all these, decorated and they have come to the war. He sees all of them as Krishna. Maybe all those eyes that are watching them in the middle of the battlefield, what's going on, he sees all the eyes as Krishna's eyes. Maybe all the faces that are around him, he suddenly sees all of them as Krishna. So think of Vishwaroopa Darshana in a little different way than the traditionally how it has been spoken about. So this is how Arjuna or Sanjaya both are able to see that Krishna only is everything. Sarvam Krishnamayam. So it's not necessary that it's a supernatural vision like that. Maybe you're able to see the same divinity. Sometimes, when we see mantra drishta, did the rishi see the mantra printing in the air like that, appearing letter by letter like a PowerPoint presentation? No. What is drishta? What has he seen? Yes, it is a way of saying things. It has just occurred to him. That drishta is occurred to him. Sometimes, we'll go to teacher, sir, I want to go to a home for a holiday. I will see, he says. He doesn't say, okay, I will give or I will not give a holiday for you or leave for you. I will see. Does it mean he really sees? No, it is a way of saying. It occurs to us when we think about something. Something occurs to us. We call it as seeing. So think of Vishwaroopa Darshana as something that occurred to Arjuna, that all this is Krishna. Every inanimate, animate object surrounding him, even including the enemies, the warriors, the horses, the chariots, the whole thing is just that divinity alone. That may be the experience of Arjuna. Nevertheless, that is one way you can think of. Then Sanjaya continues, Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yugapatu Utthita. This whole thing looked like as if 1,000 suns have suddenly risen in the sky together. That bright is that vision, that shiny is that vision. One sun we can't see with our naked eyes. He says, Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yugapatuttita. As if all thousands of suns have risen at one go in the sky. That is the kind of effulgence that whole vision has. This is how Sanjaya, Yadi Bha Sadrisha Sisa. If this happens one together, the 1,000 suns rise, whatever be the effulgence, that is the effulgence right now I am able to witness. So, this is one shloka that Oppenheimer, you have heard about. Robert Oppenheimer was a scientist who was the father of atomic bomb. And the first atomic bomb was tested in New Mexico way back in 1945. At that point of time, he was also a reader of Bhagavad Gita. He was also a student of Bhagavad Gita. So he quoted this shloka. When he saw that cloud of gases and that light after the explosion, he seems to have said this, that Divi Surya Sahasrasya, it's like thousands of suns have risen at once in the sky. That is the power of this explosion. So imagine what to what, but then that is the kind of power that Krishna was wielding, which Arjuna and Sanjaya realized at this point in time. And what does he say? Tatraikastham Jagat Krishnam Pravibhaktam Anekadha. At that very place, he is containing the entire universe. Jagat Krishnam, complete universe is in him. And how? Pravibhaktam Anekadha. He has only become many. He has become multifold, manifold. He only has become the sun and the star and the skies and the planets and the galaxies and all the beings. Apashya Deva Devasya Sharire Pandavastada. Apashyata. He saw that all in the body of Krishna is what he is saying. All galaxies, stars, universes, beings. And how that Krishna only has become multiple. Though he is one, he looks like many at this point in time. Again, was it in one screen or one shape? Maybe it is just an understanding that everything is Krishna. And since he has got this special vision now, so Jnana Drishti, so he is not seeing a physical Krishna. Jnana Drishti is able to perceive that all that exists is Krishna only in his Parabrahma Swarupa. That is Jnana Drishti. Then what about Atindriya Drishti? This is Atindriya Drishti. Beyond the physical eyes, he is able to see certain existences in this world itself. How is he seeing 1,000 suns rising together? Maybe he is seeing far off galaxies at that very moment. This universe in what you call as multiverse. How many universes are there? Billions of galaxies. Maybe he is seeing so many stars at once because his vision has expanded to the whole universe. And that's why the effulgence, as if 1,000 suns are shining together. The sun is a small, they say sun is maybe 1,000,000 times bigger than Earth. 10 lakh Earths can fit in the sun. But sun itself is not the biggest star we know in the galaxy. There are much, much bigger stars are there, who are even crores of times bigger than sun. So maybe he is seeing all of it together at once, that whole universe is manifestation of Krishna. That is why this effulgence and brightness, all of them as if Krishna only has become many. Kathopanishad again says, Eko vashi sarva bhuta antaratma, ekam rupam baudayat karoti. Only one becomes many by his own power. So he feels everything is Krishna. That is the vision that Arjuna is having at this point in time. So what is the reaction? Tatah sa vismaya vishto Rishtaroma Dhananjaya. Sanjaya is telling that our Dhananjaya, Arjuna, has become so excited about it. Rishtaroma, all his romancha they call it, a sense of adventure and excitement. All his hair is standing on edge. That is the kind of experience. Arjuna is overwhelmed by this sudden sight of the whole thing. And what does he do? Pranamya Shirasa Devam Kritanjalira Bhashata. He bows down to that vision of Krishna, and with holding his palms together in Namaskara, Anjali, he speaks thus to Krishna, is what Sanjaya is describing. And what does Arjuna say? Arjuna Vacha, Pashyami Devans Tava Deva Deve. In your body, O dear Lord, I see all the gods now. And what do I? Sarvans Tatha Bhuta Vishesha Sangan. And all kinds of beings, groups of them, I'm seeing in your form. I'm seeing all of them as a part of you. Brahmanam Isham Kamala Sanasthaha. I am seeing even Lord Brahma, who is supposed to be the creator of everything, but he himself is a part and parcel of you sitting on a lotus. He also exists in you. And Rishishcha Sarvanu Urganscha Divyan. I am seeing rishis, all kinds of rishis also are in you. And lot of serpents are in you. Uruga means serpents are in you. It means what? He's seeing all the lokas. Where does Brahma live? Which loka? Satya loka. They say. Where do devatas live? Other loka. Mahajanaha lokata. Where do rishis live? Tapa loka. Like that, if you go down, where do snakes live? Patal loka. So the lower beings, snakes mean the lower beings who reside in the darkness or in the lower worlds. All of them I'm able to see at once in your being. This is what I'm saying, paralaukik drishti. He's able to see all the lokas and the residents of the lokas at once. From the lowest Patala to Brahmaloka. He's able to see every one of them all embodied in Krishna's personality. This is the vision of Arjuna which he speaks with folded hands. Aneka bahu udaram vaktra netram. Hands are many, mouths are many, stomachs are many, eyes are many. This is how I can see Krishna. Pashyami tvam sarvato anantarupam. I am seeing your infinite form, you are endless. No beginning. Na antam, na madhyam, na punastavadim. Neither there is a beginning nor middle and end to you. You are expanding. You are so huge. I can't see the beginning and end of you. Nor am I able to perceive where is the middle of it. You are so expansive. Anantam, you are infinite. Pashyami Vishweshwara Vishwaroopa. This is the kind of Vishweshwara, Lord of the universe. I see your Vishwaroopa. I see you in everything. You have hundreds of hands, thousands of stomachs, eyes, mouths. This is what I tell our people. What is Vishwaroopa? When we go and serve food to Yadevi Sarvabhuteshu Shuddha Rupena Samstita. When we go and serve that Lord as Annapurna breakfast service, nutrition service, through thousands of stomachs, He eats. When so many students study in our education institutions, through thousands of eyes, they see, thousands of ears, they hear the lessons. Through thousands of hands, our devotees, volunteers work day and night for the betterment of people. This is Vishwaroopa Darshanam to me. So thousands of mouth people eat, thousands of hands people work, through thousands of feet we reach out to the unreached geographies, through thousands of eyes we see people who are in need and we help them, through thousands of faces we recognize the same divinity which exists in all. This is the true Vishwaroopa Darshanam that we should think of. He says there is no beginning and end to this, right? Because in everyone the same divinity resides. So this is Vishweshwara Vishwaroopa. This is the true Vishwaroopa of the Lord. But Arjuna is talking like this. And he says, Kiritanam, Gadinam, Chakrinam cha, Tejo, Rashim, Sarvato, Deeptimantam. He'll go on describing like this for some time. I'm not going to describe the shlokas. I want to get the essence right to you. He says, lot of Kiritas are there, Gadas are there, and the Chakras are there. Probably he's seeing the armies on both the sides as the very manifestation of Krishna. As if on Kaurava's side also it's Krishna only fighting. On Pandava's side also Krishna only fighting. Otherwise, why so many Kiritas? Why so many Gadas? Of course, the artists think there are so many heads Krishna has. But if you go by the Purusha Suktam also, Sahasra Shirasha Purushaha, in that also it is very clear. He is not having one neck and 1,000 heads on that neck. Though it's shown like that. All heads are his heads. All hands are his hands. All eyes are his eyes. This is the understanding that we must develop from this. And now Arjuna is describing, this is one nice shloka, so 18th one. Tomaksharam paramam veditavyam. Tomasya vishwasya param nidhanam. Tomavyayah shashvatam dharma gopta. Sanatanastam purusho matome. You are that ultimate, I have realized it now. So far I heard it from your mouth, and you described and I believed you. Shastrasya guru vakyasya satya buddhya. I have believed whatever you said in Vibhuti Yoga, but now I am seeing, I am experiencing your presence in everything as all. So he glorifies Krishna. Tomaksharam, you are the indestructible. Paramam, ultimate, veditavyam, the one who should be known. Dvaya vidya veditavya. Though in the two knowledges, you are the higher knowledge, which everybody should know. Tomasya vishwasya param nidhanam. You are the very support of this whole world. Without you, nothing can exist. This is what you told me in the last chapter, but now I am experiencing this. Tvam avyayaha, you cannot be destroyed. Because you are Atman. Body may go, Atman will stay. Shashvata, you are eternal. What? Dharma Gopta, very important word. Dharma Gopta is not Dharma Data. Dharma Data means who gives you the Dharma. See, do this and don't do this. You are Dharma Gopta, you are the protector of that Dharma. When people don't follow that Dharma, you also ensure that they follow. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirabhavati bharata. Abhyutthanava dharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham. Why do I manifest? When Dharma is on decline, which Dharma? That Dharma that the very Lord himself gave, taught to Vivasvatama and things like that. That Dharma, when it is on decline, what happens? The Lord himself comes to protect the Dharma. So you are Dharma Gopta. You are not a Dharma Data or Dharma Pravakta. You are Dharma Gopta. You are the protector of that Dharma. I have realized this now. Sanatanastam Purusho Matome. You are the Sanatana who was always there, and you are the Purusha. This is called Pura, the body of 9 gates. The one who resides, Kshaya, he is Purusha. So you are the indweller of all beings. I have figured this out with this one vision. Good enough for me. Now I have understood who you truly are. And he goes on to say, Dyava Prativyaha Idam antaram hi, whatever is in between the earth and sky, you are feeling all that. There's no space left. You are from the earth to the sky, from heaven to earth, you are stretching yourself. Vyaptam, tvayaikena dishascha sarva. Not only you are stretching yourself up and down, but in all directions, sarva disha. Means you have encompassed, embraced, engulfed everything in you. This is what is telling Krishna. Drishtadbhutam rupa mugram tavedam, and you are ugra rupa. At this point of time, Krishna looks fierce with so much of tejas, like 1,000 suns shining, so many hands, weapons, and all faces, eyes. You can imagine how overwhelming that vision is. Ugram. Lokatrayam pravyathitam mahatman. All the worlds are shivering looking at your this new form. Seems like everybody is afraid of you. Everybody is disturbed and perturbed by this sudden explosion of a vision. This is Arjuna's reaction. And he says, Amihi tvam sura sangha vishanti. In you, all the gods, the groups of gods are there. They're all coming to you. Keche bhitaha pranjalo grananti. Some of them, what are they? They're afraid. They're afraid of you because of your fierce form that I'm seeing right now. I see some of the gods who are also watching you. They're getting afraid of you with this great glory. And what are they doing? With folded hands, they're praying to you. Swasti tyuktva maharshi siddha sangaha. The group of rishis, they are telling swasti, swasti, swasti. The swasti means punya vachana. Punyaha vachana we call it. Means let auspicious things happen, let good things happen, let there be peace. They are chanting like that. And stuvanti tvam stutibhi pushkalabihi. They are praising you through the verses from the Vedas in so many ways. So various people are reacting to you in different ways. Those who are doing mistakes, those who are atheists, those who are rakshasas and asuras, they're all scared of you. Because they know you are here to destroy them, the Kaurava kinds. So they are scared of you. But who is not scared of you? The other people, like devatas are holding hands and praying to you. Rishis are singing your glory and chanting swasti mantras for you. And other great yogis are all chanting verses from the Vedas. This is the reaction of different people to God when He appears. The demons, they run like Kamsa, is scared of Krishna. Gopikas love Krishna. Rishis worship Krishna, praise Krishna. Gopalas play with Krishna. So everybody has a relationship with the divinity. But those who have no faith, they are the ones who have to be afraid of the divine. Otherwise, why should somebody be afraid of divinity, whichever form it comes? When Narasimha came, all got afraid. Hiranyakashipu was the first to run for his life. But he tore him open and all that happened. Gods were scared because seeing the Ugra Rupa of Narasimha didn't know how to react. Such big teeth and tongue and nails and huge lion head. Who was not afraid in the whole thing? Prahalada alone. Why? Because Prahalada could see through this. He saw this is my Narayana. He has taken the Narasimha avatar for the sake of killing the demon Hiranyakashipu. But to me, he is my sweet Lord Narayana. He saw that and he was not afraid. He was not terrified. So likewise, by seeing this vision, some people are terrified. Some people have become happy and they're glorifying. Some people have started singing stutis. So different type of people I'm seeing, they're reacting to you in different ways. So this is the form of the Vishnu. Krishna has, Vishnu means Vishwamayam, the one who permeates everything, that Krishna is giving this experience to Arjuna. And sometimes God has to, he wants to impress upon Arjuna the need for him to do his duty. So therefore he is going to any extent, including giving a Vishwaroopa Darshanam, to ensure that Arjuna becomes his perfect instrument. See what extent God goes to establish dharma, you have to understand that from God's point of view. And this is how it goes on. And then he says, all other people are also scared of this thing. They are all pravyathitas aham also. I have also become very disturbed by this vision, Arjuna is slowly saying. Because you are very difficult to behold this form of yours. So he said, Dhritimna vindami shamam cha Vishnu. I am not able to develop courage or confidence to see you like this, nor I am getting peace. Shamam, I am not able to be at peace. I am feeling very overwhelmed by this vision of yours. Because it describes, bahu udaram, bahu danstra karalam, canine teeth. Strong canine teeth, so many of them in his mouth, Krishna's mouth, the way he is looking at, that is the darshan. So Arjuna is scared. He says, please, Dhritimna vindami shamamcha Vishnu, I cannot understand, I cannot take it anymore. So what does he say? He says, Danshtra karalani chate mukhani, drishtaiva kala nalasannibhani, disho na jane nalabhe cha sharma prasida devesha jagannivasa. So Arjuna is telling Krishna, thank you for this vision, enough. Now, please do this. You're looking at your fearful teeth, the fearsome, what you call Danshtra are not Dashana, it is canine teeth, the sharp ones which will tear into flesh. I'm seeing those in your mouth. And Drishtaiva Kala Nala Sannibhani, from your mouth fire is coming out. And what fire? Fire of death, as if anything goes into it will be burned to ashes. That kind of fearful form, I'm fearful of you. That kind of fierce form I'm so seeing. So Dishona Jane, I'm not knowing what to do, where to do, what to go now. Standing here, Labena cha Sharma, I'm not able to gain peace by looking at this. Prasida Devesha, therefore please be happy, become your simple, beautiful, soft and calm form. Jagan Nivasa, in whom the whole world takes refuge. I take refuge in you. Please calm down and come back to your normal self. That's what they tell Prahalada. When this Narada and nobody is able to calm down Narasimha, they tell Prahalada, you go and tell him to calm down. Because nobody else can talk to him at these times. You talk to Swami, I am not going to go there. You go. He's somehow happy with you nowadays. Better you only put this idea. I can't dare to do that. So like that, Arjuna is so dear. He's telling Krishna, Jagannivasa, please Prasida, calm down. You're showing me very horrendous form. And what he's trying to tell, but also what he sees there is, Amicha tvam dhritarashtrasya putraha sarve sahaivava nipala sangaihi. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with all the kings who are there on their side, all of them are getting killed. How they are getting killed? Bhishma, Drona, Suta, Putras, Tathasau, Sahasma, Diyairapi, Yoda, Mukhyaihi. All the great warriors of that side, the heads like Bhishma, Drona, who are commanders. I am seeing all of them also. What is happening to them? Vaktrani te tvaramana vishanti. They are rushing into your mouth. He's having a vision. See, naturally, physically, nobody is rushing into Krishna's mouth, right? But he's seeing the future now. Trikala Drishti has come to Arjuna. He's seeing what is going to happen in the future. All these great warriors are being swallowed by this Vishwaroopa of Krishna. And how they're rushing into him. Danshtra Karalani Bhayanakani, where they're going into his fierce canine teeth. They're all going into such a terrible mouth of Krishna is what his vision is. Kechet Dvilagna Dashanantareshu, and some of them are getting stuck in between the teeth. Because there's such a rush to get inside his mouth. When you have a lot of rush from a small door, what happens? Somebody gets stuck in the door. Like that, everybody is rushing towards Krishna's mouth, including Bhishma, Dhritarashtra, and even, Sutaputra means Karna and others. They're all getting inside the mouth of Krishna. And terrible teeth are there, in that which they're getting stuck. And what is happening? Sandrishyante churni tair uttamangai. Some of their heads are getting crushed. Churnita means they're becoming powder. Uttamangai, the best of the anga, that is head. Some of their heads are getting crushed in his teeth. That form which he's seeing. So Arjuna is seeing the future. The death of all these people is happening in such a terrible way. As if they're getting crushed, between the teeth of that, whatever vision of that Kala that Arjuna is having. They're being crushed in that. That is the kind of future that is waiting for them. Arjuna is able to see into the future. And how is it happening? Are they slowly entering? No, they're entering with great force. As if wanting to go inside the mouth of Krishna. Yatha nadinam bahavombu vegaha. Like the rivers which flow with great force. How? Samudrameva abhimukha dravanti. Facing the ocean, they rush towards the ocean. The river seems to be in a hurry to get into the ocean. In the same way, all these Naraloka Veeras are getting into your mouth. Yatha pradittam jalaram patanga. Like that, moth wants to rush into the fire and get burnt. Sometimes you cannot understand why would you do that. But still you see hundreds of flies getting into fire and dying. Likewise, people are rushing into this mouth of the great Vishwaroopa and getting killed. This is what is happening, and I'm seeing this with great force it is going on. What is Krishna, that Vishwaroopa doing? It is using its tongue and licking them all in, it seems, and swallowing them. That is the vision, fierce vision that Arjuna is having, that all these people are rushing into the mouth of that great Vishwaroopa, getting burnt in the fire, crushed in the teeth. And what is this Vishwaroopa doing? As if he's having a nice, tasty meal, it is licking its lips and swallowing them all. Whatever is getting stuck, inside. This is what is happening on the other side. He's very scared now, Arjuna, looking at what the future is holding. Akhyami meko bhavanugrarupo namostu te deva varaprasida. He says, I don't know why you have taken this kind of a form. Please calm down, O Deva, O God, O Supreme Being, please prasida. Calm down. Vigyatum ichchami bhavanta madhyam nahi prajanami tava pravrittim. I want to know why you have shown this vision to me now. Such a terrible vision where my own kith and kin are getting killed, entering your mouth and getting burnt and crushed. Why, Pravritti? For what reason have you taken this form upon yourself? Why are you showing this to me? Arjuna is asking Krishna. So you understand the Vishwaroopa Darshana. How many of you want to have the Vishwaroopa Darshana? You will see yourself also entering the same mouth, because this is the future, right? Kalamukha, the mouth of the death, jaws of death. Everybody is going. So the idea of death is being painted like this. So this is imagery. Don't take it too literally that we all, when we die, we rush into the mouth of Kala and we all get crushed between the teeth. Where is the body? Body is gone to crematorium and soul is roaming around in the malls in Bangalore. Where is the time for death to crush us? So it's an imagery that how painful and terrible that death is going to be for all these fellows who are on the side of adharma. This is what is happening to all of them. They're getting crushed. And then he says, please tell me why you have taken this form upon yourself. I am not able to behold this. Calm down and tell me why this fearful, this tremendous vision of yours. And then Bhagavan Vacha, he says, Kalosmi loka shayakrit pravruddho. Who am I? Krishna is asking, Arjuna is asking Krishna, who are you? And Krishna is telling, who am I? I am time, Kala. I am the time which swallows everything. With time, everything is gone. Also, Kala means death. But death is also controlled by time only, because when our time is over, we all die. Nobody can extend their life even by a day. So he says, I am that Kala. I am that Lord of time or death. And why am I here? Loka Shayakrit Pravruddho. Because I want to finish off all these people, the adharmis. And of course, those of doing dharma at their own time. Everybody has to be swallowed by me. Lokan samahar tummiha pravruttaha. My behavior right now is to finish off, with laya, to take them all in. This is why I have taken this vibhatsa, this great form. And if you see, laya or destruction is a part of God's job, isn't it? We say G-O-D, generator, organizer and destroyer. So destruction is a part of God's job. Unless He destroys, how can new creation happen? We are in our body also daily, billions of cells they die and the new cells are born. That's how we remain healthy. So, replacement or this is a part of nature. So death is not something to be afraid of. But the kind of death one can be afraid of. If you do good things, your death will be peaceful. If you do wrong things, you will have a terrible death like this. So idea is to live in a life such a way, our lives, that our death is very peaceful. That Yama Darshana Dikhai. We don't want to see Yama at the end of that. Whom do we want to see? We want to see Rama. We want to see Krishna. We want to see the divinity in everything as we leave this body. That is the prayer. So this is what he says, I am that ultimate time which finishes off everybody, which takes everybody in and in a way annihilates all. So this is the Laya Rupa of mine that I am showing to you. But there is a reason why Krishna shows everything to Arjuna. What is he trying to convey? He will tell, Ritepi tvam na bhavishyanti sarve ye avasthitaha pratyanikeshu yodaha. He says, even without you, this is going to happen. Don't think you are here to destroy these people and you are a great warrior. He says, Ritepi tvam na bhavishyanti sarve. Whatever is going to, you are seeing right now, it will happen in spite of you not being here. Even if you were not here, this was going to happen. He's trying to tell Arjuna. That's why somebody says, no, with you, without you, in spite of you, the mission will go on. Don't think you are here, so mission is happening. Don't take too much of credit unnecessarily. So he's telling Arjuna, all those who are there on the opposite side, all the yodhas, all of them will be finished like this, as you are seeing right now. And this is going to happen even without you. Even if you are not in the battlefield, this is their fate. This is their future. This is how he is trying to convince. So what is Krishna trying to come to? He is coming to in the next shloka, very important shloka. He says, Tasmat tvamuttishta yasho labhasva. Therefore get up, Arjuna, and gain glory. Glory of what? Of being the good Kshatriya who fought for dharma and won a war. Jitva shatrun bhungshva rajyam samruddham. Win over your enemies and enjoy your kingdom. And what else is? Mayai vaite nihitaha purvameva. All this I have already done, purvameva. Before itself I have finished all these people in the war. You are only going to now act as if war is going to happen now. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. Therefore just be an instrument of mine. Don't get too involved with doership and all that. No, this all I have already finished. See, I have shown you the future through this Divya Drishti. That Drona, Bhishma, Sutaputra, all these people, including the people in the army, are all going to be finished in a matter of time. By whom? By me. Because I am Kala. I am here to destroy them. But nevertheless, you are here as an instrument of mine to enact this out. That's all is your job. And this I often quote, Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. Become an instrument. Savya sachi means the one who can even wield the bow with his left hand. He is like an ambidextrous Arjuna. With right hand also he can use the bow, left hand also. So I know you are very skilled. You are the best of the doctors in the world. You are the best of the teachers. You are the best of the musicians. You are best of whatever. But let me tell you, whatever you are trying to do has already happened, already done by me. You are only an instrument acting it out. So don't be too overwhelmed by the difficulties that come in the life, the challenges that come. At the same time, don't get too egoistic about your achievements, because none of these is yours. It's God who does it. You are only an instrument. So he tells Arjuna, coming back to the same story, he wants him to fight the war. So nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. Don't think too much that you are killing your grandfather, you are killing your kith and kin. All this is not necessary. All they have been already killed. Purve mete. Already they have been finished by me. You only do your duty as an instrument. That is the idea. Now, some people will say, oh, so everything is done by God. So no sins and no punyam and no papa should come to us, right? That is what many people will take this to the other extreme. When God has anyway finished everything, destiny is written, fate is sealed, what is the point in me doing anything? Anyway, I'm going to get Sunnam. Why study tonight? That is decided, fate is decided. This is not the attitude. Then Advaitins and Dvaitas, this is where the conflict starts. So Dvaita will say, you are a Jiva, you are not God, you have to do your duty, and only if you do punyas will you reach the Brahma Loka or whichever Vaikuntha Loka or Kailasa Loka, Brahma Loka, whatever Loka you will go to. And then you will enjoy, you will be with that divinity and enjoy your life and time there. For them, this is very important. That become an instrument, don't think too much. But for an Advaitin, this is a normal thought process. This should be a natural, spontaneous thought process when we work. Yes, I am just an instrument. In fact, this instrument is also made of the same divinity. Gold may look different as a bangle, as a chain, or as a ring, but ultimately it is gold. So Advaitin will see only gold. He won't see it has become a bangle or a chain or anything. Advaitin will only see water. He won't see the waves and the ocean and froth. Advaitin will only see the space. He will not see this hall and that place. So from Advaita Darshanam, you are always divine. So good, bad, ugly, everything that is happening under a divine command. But sometimes we deviate from this thought and then we commit sins, as we say. And then there is a papa to associate it with. So how do we deal with it? Yes, at that moment you strayed away from the thought of Advaita. Therefore you are getting worked up and overwhelmed by the idea that now you have committed a sin and you will be punished, or you have done good things and you will be rewarded for it. That is only deviation from the Advaitin's mind. But at the same time, we cannot be lazy, saying, I don't have to do anything. Why? Because divinity will do everything. Try it out. Sit in your room. Don't go to dining hall and expect your food to arrive in front of you. Will it come? Has it ever come? Never come. You had to walk. Why you don't think that the walking to dining also is divine will? Why don't you think taking the idli and putting in your plate is also divine will? Why don't you think sitting and eating the idli also is your divine will? Why don't you look at it like that? Why take this lazy approach that I will sit in my room? If divinity decides I should have food today, food will arrive. This is a very wrong understanding of these philosophies. People use it conveniently because of their laziness and lethargy. No, karmanyavadikaraste mahapaleshu kadachana. That is the principle of karma. You do your work as an instrument of God. Who runs this body after all? You've eaten your lunch. Who digests it by night? You eat your dinner. Who digests it by morning? That divinity is working through all of us as a Chaitanya Shakti, Prana Shakti. That is the divinity which makes everything happen. So that's how you become an instrument of that divinity. So don't, as I said, don't go to this extreme that I am nobody, everything is divine, I am useless. That is also wrong. At the same time, I am only everything, that is also wrong. Take the middle path. I am an instrument, divinity is the real doer. So divinity only should be the real enjoyer. To an instrument, no sin comes, no punya, no papa. A doctor who uses a scalpel to do an operation there, if the operation goes right and the patient is cured, the scalpel is not going to get any credit for it. Or if the operation goes wrong and patient dies, scalpel is not going to get sins. It's doctor's doing. Likewise, Krishna is saying, I have done everything what needs to be done. You please only worry about your instrumentation part at this point in time. That is good enough. Till you realize oneness with me, this is your method. Be an instrument. Once you realize oneness, there is no difference between you and the divine. So these questions only won't arrive. What is it? Shiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. The one who sees that, for him all the karmas have been destroyed. Why? Because all the hridaya granthi, vidyate hridaya granthi chidyante sarva samshaya. All his doubts are clear. Then you won't ask me this question. Swami, what happens like this, what happens like that? Because you have realized the truth. In the truth, all your doubts have disappeared. Hridaya granthis have been cut asunder. So till that stage, please think of yourself as an instrument. That is the best way. So this is a very secret Krishna is revealing. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. All our people in our institutions should think they are just instruments and nothing more. And he continues that he is seeing all these things which are happening. And Krishna tells him, Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratam cha, Karnam tatha anyapi yodhaviran, Maya hatans tvam, Jahima vyathishtha, Yudhyasva jetasi rane sapatnan. You are worried about Drona because you know he can't be killed. Dronacharya cannot be killed unless he gives up the weapons on his own. Bhishma cannot be killed unless he decides to die. Then Jayadratha, he also had a boon from his father that whoever kills him, his head will split into 1,000 pieces, it seems. And Karna, who had Kavacha Kundala, he cannot be killed. You are worried about these people. Krishna read Arjuna's mind. Okay, you are saying all these things, but these people cannot be killed. That's what I know of. But don't worry, they also have been killed by me, Krishna is assuring. How? That you know how Krishna uses his tactics to kill all of them. But he says all these have been killed, they have all been killed by me, so you don't unnecessarily worry. Don't get worked up by their presence. You fight the war, win the war, along with your enemies, along with your people, kill all the enemy, do your duty. That's all Krishna is trying to tell. Even the most difficult challenges I have taken care of. You just be an instrument. Then Sanjaya says, Etat Shrutva Vachanam Keshavasya Kritanjalir Vepamanah Kiriti. But Arjuna is shivering still because the form is not over, the vision is not over. Krishna is speaking, Arjuna is understanding in some way, but the form is still that fearful form. So what does Arjuna do? He is shivering, Vepamanaha. And with folded hands, he is standing like a scared disciple. And what he says, Namaskritva Bhuya Eva Krishnam Sadgadgadam Bhita Bhita Pranamya. With a kind of a trepidation and overwhelming feelings, he is holding hands and doing namaskara and to Krishna. He is bowing down in front of Krishna's that glorious form. This is how it says, and Arjuna finally realizes who Krishna is. Now Arjuna speaks and says, Tomadi Deva Purusha Puranam. You are the ultimate, the very beginning of everything. Adi Deva, the first God who appeared. You are Purusha, you are Purana, the ancient one. Tamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam. You are the support of the entire universe. Vettasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dhama Tvaya Tatam Vishwam Anantarupa. You are the one who has to be known. You are the knower also of that known. You are both. You are the knowledge, you are the known, you are the knower. Everything is you only. This I have realized. And you are the Vishwam Anantarupa. You are the ultimate infinite cosmos. This whole Vishwa is you only. This I have realized now. So what he does, he goes on praising him and bowing down in front of him, praying to him, and finally he apologizes. This is a very sweet shloka. Please pay attention to this. He says, Sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam he Krishna he Yadava he Sakheti. By considering you as my friend, I did not know that you are such a big godhood, personality of the supreme godhood. I thought you are my friend. And in those times, thinking you as my friend, prasabham yadukta, if I spoken unnecessarily, unwantedly, out of turn, how I've called you, hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Sakha, come here. I've spoken to you like this. I should have never taken your name. I should have spoken to like what Jagan Nivasa, Vishweshwara, Vishwaroopa. This is how I should have spoken to you. But I have spoken to you, hey Krishna, come here, hey Yadava, sit here, hey Sakha, do this for me. I have spoken like this to you. He says, Ajanata Mahimanam Tavedam. I did not know your glory. Therefore I have spoken like this. Maya Pramadat Pranayena Vapi. Out of either my foolishness or out of love for you as a friend. I have sometimes ridiculed you, scolded you, fought with you, spoken unnecessary things. Yatcha Vahasartha. Making fun of you also. Hasya. I made fun of you. How? Asat Krutosi. And that was not in good taste. It was not honorable thing to do to you. But I have done this. When Vihara Shayyasana Bhojaneshu, while I was Vihara means roaming around with you. Shayya means they were friends while we were lying down together. Or while I was sitting with you, asana, or Bhojaneshu, while eating with you, many times I have spoken to you in a way which was not really nice. Now I realize this. So what do I want from you? Eko thavapyachyuta tat samaksham tat kshamaye tvamaham aprameyam. I might have spoken to you in private or in public also like this, sometimes about you or to you. For all these things, please forgive me. He is telling to Krishna. Arjuna is telling like this. You know, how many times we scold God, you tell me? How many times we ridicule Him? How many times we speak of Him in a not nice way when we don't get what we want? But as I said, the biggest sin that we commit is not to forget Krishna, but forget our own divinity. That is insult to that divinity within us. See, Arjuna is saying, I forgot Krishna, that you are the supreme being. I spoke unnecessarily, I did things unnecessarily. Now please forgive. But truth is what? We ourselves forget our divinity every day. Is it not insulting the divine within us? Is it, or we say, think or do things which is not in accordance with our divine nature? Is it not kind of, doing wrong to the divinity? Should we not apologize to that divine who is within? Vihitam avahitam va sarvame takshamasva. Jai Jai Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambhu. Forgive us for all that. We do all unnecessary things. And biggest sin we commit is we forget we are divine and we behave in a way other than our divine nature. That is how Arjuna forgets who Krishna is. That is how we forget who we truly are. That is the deeper significance of it. And then very sweetly Arjuna says, Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam prasadaye tvam ahamisha medium piteva putrasya sakheva sakyuh priyah priyayah arhasi deva sodhum. Oh dear Krishna, you are very kind. Therefore I fall flat. Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam. Full sashtanga pranam I am doing to you, Krishna. Because never he did that before to Krishna. Always, a friend, he'll put his hand around, walk together, pinch him, all kinds of things, fight with him. But first time he's full flat in front of Krishna. And saying what? Prasadaye, please become happy with me. Forget all the wrong things that I've done, Past is past, forget the past. Because ahamisha medium, you are the worshipable Ishvara himself. I realize that now. Please don't be upset with me. How you should forgive me? Piteva putrasya. Like a father forgives his erring son. Sakheva sakyuhu, like a good friend forgives his friend who's gone astray. Or priya priyaya, like a lover forgives his beloved, a husband forgives his wife. Like that, please bear with me and forgive me. two, like that Arjuna is putting. This is the sweet relation between Krishna and Arjuna. See, on one side Vishwaroopa Darshana is going on, other side Arjuna also remembers him that Krishna is like my father, my friend, my everything, my Priyatama, my beloved. I was reading somewhere that when Arjuna would go to Krishna in Dwaraka, all Krishna's wife will tell, that's it. For 2 months, we are not going to see Krishna's face. Arjuna has come, full time Krishna will be going with Arjuna everywhere. He won't even check on us. This is how the wives would lament. That so fond of Arjuna, Krishna was. And so also was Arjuna fond of Krishna. That was their beautiful relation. And he goes on to say, Adrishta purvam harshitosmi drishtva. I have seen this which I have never seen before, something you have shown me today that I have never seen before. I am very happy about it. But at the same time, bhayena cha pravyathitam manome. I am also scared of this form of yours, which is so overwhelming. So what do? Tadeva me darshaya deva rupam prasida devesha jagannivasa. So Jagannivasa, please show me your previous normal form only. I am happy with it. Don't show me this Vishwaroopa Darshanam. I can't take it. Those teeth and the fire and all that. Please go back to the nice. Not that I didn't enjoy it. I am very happy you showed me something that I have never seen before. At the same time, please become happy. From Ugra Rupa, become the Prasanna Rupa. And now show me your previous form. Previous form is as you were Krishna. And he goes on to say that I pray to you to show me that 4-handed Vishnu form, he says here. He says, Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrahastam Ichhami Tvam Drashtumaham Tathaiva Tenaiva Rupena Chaturbhujena Sahasrabaho Bhava Vishwamurte. Become that 4-handed Vishnu Rupa, because that is my Aradhya Devata. So please show me that form. Don't show me these 1,000 hands and all these things. I'll be very happy with that. When Vivekananda wanted Ramakrishna Paramhamsa to give him the Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana, whatever, Ramakrishna Paramhamsa simply, with his foot touched on his chest like that. Because Vivekananda was arguing with Ramakrishna Paramhamsa. Ramakrishna was saying everything is divine. So Vivekananda starts saying, you think this pot and pan and this book and the cupboard, everything is divine? He says, yes, everything is divine. I don't agree. So our Ramakrishna Paramhamsa just touches his chest with the toe of his feet. And immediately Vivekananda, transcends the mind and is lost in trance. And that lasts 3 days, it seems. He can't eat, he can't think. Everything, whole world has disappeared in front of his eyes. So he doesn't know how to behave. Then he comes and prays. What have you done to me, Thakur? What have you done to me? Please bring back to me a normal state. I have father, I have mother, I have a family. I have to take care of all of that. Please don't put me in this transcendental stage. I can't take it anymore. Same experience of Arjuna. Please take back this. Because he has not earned it, see. When you have done sadhana and earned this experience, you will be able to handle that experience. When you have not done sadhana and it has come to you like by Guru's grace or by Krishna's compassion, you can't bear it. That's why many people say, give me Brahma Jnana. I tell them, see, if a high voltage current passes through a low capacity wire, what's going to happen to the wire? It will get burnt. You are not ready for it. Or water is poured into a pot which has not been baked or dried properly. The pot will break. Likewise, this body and our mind cannot take that experience of divinity unless we have done sadhana and earned it. See here, Arjuna has not earned it. He says, I don't think I'm deserving, but just in case if you can be compassionate to show me. Krishna says, here, have a glimpse. He says, no, enough. I don't want it anymore. Likewise, this Brahma Jnana, whatever we call about, is a high energy thing. And then Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Maya prasannena tavarjunedam rupam param darshitam Atma Yoga. Through Atma Yoga, I have shown you this darshana. Which darshana? This Vishwaroopa Darshana to you. Okay. And out of my prasannena, because I am happy with you, I love you, I wanted you to experience this, so I have given you this darshana. Tejo mayam vishwam anantamadhyam yanme tvad anyena na drishtapurvam. Other than you, nobody has seen this before you. You are the first person to see this Vishwaroopa of mine. How I have shown you out of my fondness for you, because I am happy with you. You are asking the right questions. You are being a good devotee and disciple. You are getting ready to follow my command. So, being happy with you, I have shown you something. This darshan nobody has had before you. You are the first. And he also says, Na Veda Yajna Yajnadhyayanena Dane. By Veda, Yajna or Adhyayanas of all these kinds of Dana, Punya, you can't get this vision. Many people think, what can I do to get this vision? Nacha kriyabhi na tapobhi rugraihi. By constant rituals, kriya, or by severe austerities, ugra tapaha. By severe austerities also you can't get this vision. Evam rupaha shakya aham nriloke drishtum tvad anyena kurupravira. O Kurupravira, O Prince, nobody else has seen this before you. In this Naraloka. Nobody has seen. Maybe Devaloka people have seen. In Naraloka, you are the first person to see this vision. And nobody, even by Vedadhyayana, by Jnana, by Tapas, by Kriyas, nobody can get this vision. This is a special grace that I have shown you. And therefore, but you got scared. So don't worry. Mate vyatha. Don't you worry anymore. Don't you get scared. Vyapeta pritamanaha punastvam. I am removing your fear out of my love for you, and I want to make your mind calm and peaceful again. Tradeva me rupamidam prapashya. So now I am withdrawing this form. Now you see my original form as I was with you. So that is how Krishna is so compassionate to Arjuna that when he asks for that experience, he gives it. When he asks, I don't want to have it, he withdraws it also. Because he knows Arjuna cannot handle it. So, but he nevertheless creates an impression in Arjuna's mind as to who he truly is and how Arjuna should behave and deal with Krishna with implicit obedience and complete surrender. This is what Krishna is wanting from Arjuna, right? That you obey what I say, surrender to my command, that is how we will be able to achieve this. And Arjuna says, Drishtvedam manusham rupam tava saumyam janardana idani masmi samvritaha sachetaha prakritim gataha. After seeing your nice, sweet form, smiling form, now I have come to my senses. Otherwise, I had lost my consciousness. I would have fainted in another moment. But you have been kind to restore my senses back to me by coming back to your normal Saumya form, not the Ugra form. He says, and then Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Sudurdarsham idam rupam drishtvanasi yanmama. This form is very, very difficult to see. Sudurdarsham. Durdarsham means only difficult to see. Sudurdarsham. Very, very difficult to get this vision. Deva apyasya rupasya nityam darshana kakshinam. All the gods are also waiting, desirous of this divine vision. But unfortunately, they also don't get it. But you have got it. This is what I say. Vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. Such a person who sees everything as divinity, such a person is very rare to find. The rarest of the rare such a person is. And so Vishwaroopa Darshanam is truly the Ekam, Darshanam of Ekam. The one who sees oneness in everything, that is the true Vishwaroopa Darshanam. So this Darshana is very rare to come by. Great yogis do tapas, but they don't get it. So he says, Naham vedaihi na tapasa na dane na cha ijjaya shakya evam vidho drishtum drishtvanasi mamyatha. What you have seen, this cannot be seen by dana, tapa, ijja, all kind of pujas. Nobody is capable of seeing this in this way that I have shown you. You are very lucky, Arjuna. You are very fortunate. That's what Krishna is trying to convey. Now, to whom much has been given, much is demanded. So Krishna has finished all these things. Now he is going to demand from Arjuna implicit obedience and surrender. That is all Krishna's master plan is. So I always say that with God, you are never sure what he is up to. His kindness is also to get you, to make you obedient. His rudeness is also to make you humble and obedient. All the time he is doing whatever he is doing to you to make you an obedient, surrendered devotee. And then Krishna himself answers, by Veda I can't get it, by Jnana I can't get it, by tapas or all these austerities I can't see this vision. Then how does one get to see this oneness in everything? And Krishna in the last verse or so he replies, Bhaktya tva anyaya shakya. By ananya bhakti, by devotion alone one is capable of having this vision of oneness. Ahamevam vidho Arjuna, this way, knowing me as the Supreme Lord and experiencing me, everything is possible only through bhakti, he says. And what says? Gyatum drishtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. In which way they will experience me? Gyatum, they'll come to know who I am. Not Sakha Yadava, but the great Supreme Lord Jagannivasa. Drishtum, they'll be able to see me in everything as the divine principle. And tatvena pravishtum, by completely understanding my principle, they will be able to enter me, he says. Enter me means they become engulfed by this experience. Like river becomes the ocean once it enters the ocean. Like that, once the devotee enters the divine, he becomes the divine. Yatha nadye chandamana samudre astam gachanti nama rupe vihaya tatha vidvan nama rupa vimuktaha parat param paramupaiti. So that is the idea. Purusha, he realizes that Purusha, once it loses name and form. How? Gyatum, drishtum, and tatvena pravishtum. These are 3 steps. We have this bhakti, Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, and Sayujya. I say when we join the hostel at 6th class, you are entering the Salokya, same as the Lord's abode. You have entered the abode. Then what happens next? Samipya. You develop dearness, not nearness, dearness to the Lord. Samipyam. Once you become dear by obeying the Lord, you become Sarupya. You become like the Lord. Kind, compassionate, humble, hardworking, sincere, devoted. So your qualities will start changing to match the qualities of the Lord. And finally, Sayujya, you become one with the Lord. So I always say, 6th to 8th, Salokyam. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, Sa Mipyam. Then in UG, PG, Sarupyam, you become like me. And after PG, the moment you graduate, you should become Sayujyam, one with the divine. So let us break it like that. All the schooling, put it as Salokyam. Then all the higher education, schooling, Samipyam. University education, Sarupyam. And graduation, ultimate graduation is Sayujyam. That is how we must enter the Lord, in the sense, become one with the Lord. And he gives 5 qualities to end. What is the 5 qualities of Bhakta? Because from here we are leading to the next chapter, which is Bhakti Yoga, one of the sweetest chapter in Bhagavad Gita. But here finally he concludes, who becomes a true bhakta? Mat karma krin mat parmo. The one who does everything for my sake. Why? Because he thinks I am the mat parma, I am the supreme most. I am the highest priority. I always say, make God your priority. God should be the one and the only priority, non-negotiable. Everything else will fall into place. Mat parama, the highest in my life is God. Above mother, father, friends, and colleagues, I have to please God. That idea, if mat karma, then all your actions will start getting aligned to that idea that I have to please God. Mat bhaktaha, all the time he is doing bhakti to me. Bhakti means loves me from all the bottom of his heart. Doesn't love me only when I give things what the devotee wants, but loves me in spite of whatever happens to the devotee. Such bhakti. Sangha varjita, he is not attached to anybody. He is only attached to me. He may look like he is attached to everybody. He can be kind and nice to all, but ultimately he is only attached to me. He doesn't seek the company of others. Then nirvairaha sarvabhuteshu. He has no enmity towards anyone. Such a person alone is my true devotee. And sa mameti Pandava. The one who is like that, he reaches me, O Pandava, O Arjuna. Why he is telling these qualities to Arjuna? Tell me how many of these qualities Arjuna is having right now? Mat karma he is not having. He is not wanting to fight the war when Krishna is telling fight for my sake. So he is slowly telling Arjuna, this is what you need to have to handle this vision. Mat paramo, consider me as the supreme. Not you are not fighting for Yudhishthira's sake, not to avenge the insult of Draupadi. You are fighting it for my sake. I am parama for you, ultimate. Mat bhakta, you have to love me from all your heart, despite whatever be the outcome. You may lose your son, kith and kin on a good side also, people will be dead. But then also you should love me. And Sangha Varjita, don't get attached to anything or anyone here. Just be attached to me. Drona, then Bhishma, then this side, his own other kith and kin. Don't do that, he is telling him. And Nirvairaha Sarvabhutesh, even if you are fighting a war against Duryodhana, be Nirvairaha. Don't have enmity towards them. Fight for the sake of establishing dharma, not because you are angry with Duryodhana, you want to take revenge. Imagine what kind of demands Krishna has put in front of Arjuna. I don't think Arjuna even realized it. Gave him a nice Vishwaroopa Darshanam, scared him to death, and then told him, okay, fine, don't run away, I'll calm down. And then he says, gets Arjuna to surrender. I am so sorry for all the stupidity so far, but here onwards, please forgive me. I am surrendering to you. That is all I wanted. Now Arjuna, this is not enough. You have to become a good bhakta to me. What is that bhakta? You have to become nirvairaha. Even against Kauravas, you should not hold any grudges. You should not be angry. Imagine what demand that is. You have come to the battlefield to fight your enemies who have insulted you, harmed you, who have been so bad to you. And all this while, you are wanting to fight, and then you see your kith and kin, you don't want to fight. But then Krishna comes and says, you fight. You have to fight. Why? Because you have to fight for my sake, for the sake of dharma sthapana. You fight with complete dedication to me without any doership and enjoyership. You fight without attachment to your kith and kin, because both sides people are going to die. You fight without any enmity for the enemy. Then you are my devotee. Look at the standard of whatever the demand, the devotion that Krishna expects from us. Even to the enemy, we cannot be enemies. We have to be friend. This is what Bhakti Yoga will demand from us. He tells who are the true bhaktas and what are their qualities and how they should behave. So the most difficult part is, even to our enemy in the battlefield, you should not kill them with anger or enmity. See, Rama also killed Ravana, isn't it? But did he kill out of anger or did he kill out of dharma sthapana? He showed compassion only to Ravana. Krishna also killed so many people, left, right, center actually, since childhood. But did he do out of anger and grudge or frustration or revenge, or did he do out of compassion is the question. What was the attitude? So he's telling Arjuna, you are ready to follow my command, that's fine. You are ready to get rid of all the attachment to your kith and kin, that is fine. You now consider me as the most important person in your life, that is also fine. But if you have any feeling of enmity, it's not fine. This is what Bhakti Yoga is going to ask of us. In all situations, we have to be compassionate, kind, unperturbed, undisturbed. We should not have enmity, anger towards anybody, despite whatever they do to us. This is what is leading to Bhakti Yoga. So with this, Vishwaroopa Darshana Yoga comes to an end. But idea is that please think of Vishwaroopa Darshana as that form of the divine which we see in everyone. All things that are happening. Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagata. All that we see, moving, inanimate, everything is divine only. This is Vishwaroopa Darshana. So that you do. Tatra ko moha kashokaha ekatvam anupashyataha. That is what will happen to us. Our moha, shoka, everything will disappear. Why? Because we know there is only one, there is no two. So this is Vishwaroopa Darshana, to see the divine in everything in this universe, in every situation, pratibodha viditam. That is the idea of Vishwaroopa Darshana that we have to develop. And how we will develop that? Not by tapa, dhyana, jnana, all that. That is a method of preparation. But ultimately, we will be able to handle that only with bhakti. Pure bhakti. That is, Ramakrishna could handle that vision with bhakti. Vivekananda, with all his head and all his arguments, he couldn't handle that. So let us keep our heads aside for some time. Let us use our hearts and use it in a way that we have no enemy, ajat shatru, we are nirvairi. So this is the purity of bhakti. It doesn't have hold malice, hatred, enmity for anyone. It will bless everyone. So that is what is going to be expected of in the next chapter. As and when I find time, I want to keep on talking about it between the travels. Whatever I am saying, please pay attention, go back, think deeply. Shrotavyam, mantavyam, nididhyasitavyam. That is what is gyatum, drishtum, pravishtum. Gyatum, shrotavyam, drishtum, let us say mantavyam, because you're able to experience. Drishtam is not with eyes. In the mind, it is able to, you're able to assimilate and understand. And pravishtum, tattvena pravishtum is nididhyasana. Do that and you'll realize your divinity with these blessings. We'll talk again in next about Bhakti Yoga.